During a colleague's dinner, while ordering food, the new intern, Han Jiang, didn't say a word. Who knew that after we finished ordering, he would slowly add one more thing. Pack up 6 hairy crabs. Hearing this, we were all stunned. Your monthly salary is only 3,000. Why go to such an expense? It's fine. It's for everyone to have a lively time together. It's not much money. At the dinner table, he didn't touch a single bite. He just waited for the crabs to be packed, and as soon as he got them, he tried to slip away. But unexpectedly, I directly stood at the door, blocking him. Boss, let him settle the bill for that takeout order himself. The restaurant was brightly lit and bustling with voices, a hot steam mixing with the aroma of food. Our department, in order to take care of the new intern, specially chose a reasonably priced local cuisine restaurant. The atmosphere was just right. After a few rounds of drinks, everyone had on their faces the relaxation of taking off the heavy burden of work. Only Han Jiang, that intern sitting in the corner, looked completely out of place from beginning to end. We ordered a table full of dishes. He remained silent the whole time, with no sense of participation. Just as everyone was about to finish ordering, he slowly raised his hand. His voice wasn't loud, but it clearly reached everyone's ears. Waiter, add 6 hairy crabs. I want the biggest ones, steamed, and pack them up to go directly. In an instant, there was a brief stagnation in the noisy private room. Over a dozen pairs of eyes were all cast towards him. Even the experienced waiter froze for a moment, the hand holding the ordering device suspended in midair. You should know, the hairy crabs at this restaurant are sold by the piece, at seasonal prices. One alone costs over 100. And Han Jiang, who said this, only makes an intern's salary of barely 3,000 a month. Everyone thought Han Jiang was trying to show off, planning to pay the bill for the whole table. At this time, a colleague half-jokingly laughed. You're spending too much, young Master Han. Who knew? Han Jiang smiled shyly, waved his hand, and said in a light tone, it's fine. Didn't we agree to go Dutch? Since we're all together, it's not much money. This sentence was like a rock, smashing into the originally harmonious atmosphere. The smiles on the faces of several older colleagues froze. They looked at each other in dismay. No one said another word. The dishes were served one after another until they were all on the table. Han Jiang indeed kept his word. He didn't touch a single chopstick of the food on the table. He just sat there quietly, like an outsider, patiently waiting for his spoils. My good friend Yan beside me lowered his voice, leaned into my ear, and said, is this guy out of his mind? Typing on his screen, with a faint smile hanging on the corners of his mouth. Finally, the waiter walked in carrying an exquisite takeout box. Sir, your hairy crabs are ready. Hearing this sentence, Han Jiang's eyes instantly lit up. He immediately stood up, took the takeout box, as skillfully as if he had practiced it countless times. I have an emergency at home, so I'll be leaving first. He nodded vaguely at us, turned around, and walked towards the door. His step so fast it seemed he was about to fly. Seeing that one of his feet was about to step out of the private room door, I put down the chopsticks in my hand, making a crisp sound. Wait, my voice wasn't loud, but everyone seated heard it. Han Jiang's body stiffened for a moment. He turned his head, his face showing the panic of being exposed. Brother Yi Chen, is there something else? I stood up, walked straight past him, and stood at the door of the private room, blocking his way. Looking past him, I cast my gaze to the front desk not far away. Then, I raised my volume. Boss, that order of packed hairy crabs. Let him pay for it himself. At this moment, time in the entire restaurant lobby seemed to stand still. Han Jiang's face instantly turned from white to red, and then from red to pale, as colorful as a palette. The takeout box in his hand felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds at this moment. At this moment, Han Jiang tightly gripped the handle of the takeout box, his knuckles turning white from the force. Brother Yi Chen, what do you mean by this? I ignored him, my eyes still locked on the boss at the front desk. The boss was currently looking our way with an inquiring expression. I repeated it in a calm tone, but every word was incomparably clear. That portion of hairy crabs was packed for him personally. Do not include it in our table's total bill. Let him pay separately. After saying that, I turned my gaze back to Han Jiang. Right at this moment, his expression underwent a dramatic change. One second he was furious from being exposed. The next second, his eyes quickly turned red. His lips trembled, looking as if he had suffered a tremendous grievance. I just wanted to take them back for my mom to try. She's sick and has always wanted to eat this. His voice was kept very low, as if he was going to cry in the next second. This appearance successfully aroused the compassion of certain colleagues in the private room. Oh my. Yi Chen, let it go. Let it go. It's just a few crabs. It's not much money. Yeah, Xiao Han is just showing filial piety. Don't be so nitpicky. Everyone came out to have fun. Being happy is what's most important. Voices trying to smooth things over rose one after another. At this moment, I became the unforgiving villain, the bad guy ruining the atmosphere. Manager Zhao of the department sat in the main seat, not saying a word from beginning to end. He just frowned tightly, his face not looking too good. His silence was a tacit approval of this smoothing over behavior. My heart sank bit by bit. At this time, colleague Yan stepped forward. Going Dutch means paying for what you put in your own mouth and drink into your own stomach. He didn't eat it himself, but packed it to take away as a personal favor. Why should all of us foot the bill for this? This is a matter of principle. It has nothing to do with whether the money is a lot or a little. Yan's words were resounding and powerful, instantly silencing those few trying to mediate. Everyone's gaze focused on Han Jiang once again. Han Jiang was forced to retreat step by step by the situation. Tears fell down, his voice carrying a distinct sob. Brother Yi Chen, have you had a problem with me ever since I arrived? With this sentence, he pointed the spearhead at me, trying to twist the whole incident into workplace bullying. Meanwhile, the boss and the waiter at the front desk both crossed their arms, watching this sudden farce with great interest. I took a deep breath, suppressed the anger in my heart, and said to Han Zhang word by word, I don't have a problem with you. I have a problem with unfairness. The principle of going Dutch is fairness. Whoever consumes pays the bill. Such a simple truth. I don't think it needs explaining. Han Zhang was instantly left speechless by my words. He opened his mouth but couldn't say a single word. Ultimately, he extremely reluctantly pulled out his phone from his pocket, walked to the front desk, scanned the code, and paid for those 6 hairy crabs. After paying, carrying his precious crabs, he rushed out of the restaurant without looking back. Before leaving, he glared at me fiercely through the glass door. The venom in his eyes made my heart turn cold. This dinner eventually broke up on bad terms. Arriving home, I had just lain down on the sofa when my phone vibrated on the table. I picked it up to look. It was the department workgroup chat. I'm sorry, I caused trouble for everyone. This was followed by a crying emoji. The group chat instantly blew up. People who didn't know the truth flocked to comfort him. It's fine, Xiaohan. Don't take it to heart. You're young, after all. Who doesn't have a bit of a temper? And those colleagues who had advised me to let it go at the dinner acted even more like saints at this moment. Don't be sad, Xiaohan. We all understand your filial piety. I looked at the hypocritical comforting words on the screen, only feeling a wave of nausea. They weren't comforting Han Zhang, but rather using words to nail me to a cross of harshness. Turning off the phone, I buried my face in a soft throw pillow. I knew this matter wasn't over yet. Sure enough, the next day, the moment I stepped into the office, I acutely sensed that the atmosphere wasn't right. An eerie quiet permeated the air. Just as I sat down, the internal phone from Manager Zhao rang on my desk phone. With a sternness in his tone, he said, Yi Chen, come to my office for a moment. After I walked into the manager's office, he pointed to the chair opposite him, signaling me to sit down. He rubbed his temples and began speaking in a cold tone. Yi Chen, what happened at the dinner yesterday got really ugly. I looked at him quietly, waiting for what he would say next. Han Zhang is still an intern. Young people, you know, don't think things through completely. As a senior employee, you should be more tolerant and a bit more magnanimous. I looked helpless. Manager, this isn't a matter of being magnanimous or not. This is a matter of principle. I know. Manager Zhao waved his hand, clearly not wanting to delve deeper into this issue. But look, now things have blown up so much. Colleagues are all gossiping. It has a very bad impact. I hope you can find an opportunity to clear the air with Xiaohan. Then this matter will be considered past. Team harmony is the most important thing. Do you understand? I understood the implication behind his words. He didn't care who was right or wrong. He only cared about keeping the peace. My mistake was putting things out in the open, making him look bad as a leader. I came out of the manager's office, my heart turning cold. When I went to the pantry to get some water, I clearly heard whispering coming from the cubicles. He did go a bit too far. He's just an intern after all. Yeah, I heard his family situation is particularly bad. Why be so harsh? I pushed open the pantry door. The two people inside instantly fell silent. Holding their cups, they smiled awkwardly at me and then quickly slipped out. Throughout the whole morning, Han Zhang was unusually busy. He initiated conversations with everyone he met, both implicitly and explicitly. He was talking about how difficult his family situation was, how he just wanted his sick mother to eat something good, but didn't expect Brother Yi Chen to be so unfeeling. Yet he absolutely avoided mentioning the fact that he was taking the food only for himself. Si Yan heard these rumors and turned green with anger. He rushed in front of those gossiping colleagues and loudly rebuked them. Can you guys get the situation straight? It was him who wanted to take advantage of everyone. When Yi Chen exposed him on the spot, he got angry from embarrassment. How did it suddenly turn into Yi Chen bullying him? However, his arguing, in the eyes of others, only further confirmed the accusation that we were ganging up to bully the newcomer. Lunchtime arrived. Usually, someone would call out to me, Yi Chen, time to eat. Today, people in the office left in 2s and 3s, talking and laughing, deliberately detouring around my cubicle. I was isolated. After a while, Si Yan came back, holding a packed lunch in his hand. I knew you didn't go eat. I brought you your favorite sweet and sour spare ribs. Saying that, he placed the lunchbox on my desk. He plopped down on the chair next to me. I really didn't expect these people to be so brainless. They can't even see through Han Zhang's little tricks. I shook my head. It's not that they can't see through it. They just don't want to cause trouble for themselves. Or rather, they enjoy seeing a person who usually seems quiet and hardworking be dragged down into the mud, becoming fodder for their gossip after meals. As I was eating, Han Zhang and a few female colleagues walked in from outside, talking and laughing. He held several delivery boxes in his hand. Sister Ma, your delivery. Xiao Lu, I took out your trash for you on the way. Xiao Jia, I poured a cup of hot water for you. He behaved exceptionally well-mannered, eagerly and proactively helping those colleagues who had spoken ill of me with various chores. Those colleagues were full of praise for him, and when they looked at me, there was even more disdain in their eyes. That afternoon, the administration department informed everyone to order afternoon tea. Old rules, going Dutch. Colleagues chattered in the group chat, discussing which shop to order from. At this time, Han Zhang actively jumped out. Brothers and sisters, let me tally it up for everyone. Tell me what you want to drink, and I'll place a unified order on the mini program. Xiaohan is so capable. Thanks for your hard work. The group chat was filled with praise. Half an hour later, the afternoon tea arrived. Han Zhang bustled about distributing it, checking everyone's orders like a dedicated organizer. Only when everyone got their share did he pick up his own. I glanced at it. What he ordered was the most expensive pour-over coffee in the shop. Not only that, he also added double cream and an extra shot of espresso. The price of this cup was almost twice that of my Americano. After the distribution was done, it was time to collect the money. He sent a payment QR code in the group chat. Then he had everyone. The total is 500 yuan. Excluding me, the average is 20 yuan per person. I looked at that number, and my heart skipped a beat. The average, he stated, was higher than the actual average by a few yuan. Although it wasn't a lot, it was enough to spread the cost of his most expensive coffee cleverly across everyone's heads. I didn't make a fuss in the group chat. I just scanned the code and paid the actual amount I owed. After a while, he sent a message. Brother Yi Chen, did you calculate it wrong? However, I didn't reply. Just at this moment, CN also noticed something was wrong. He directly at Han Zhang in the group chat. Xiao Han, did you miscalculate this bill? Why do I feel like it's not right? With CN asking this, it immediately caught the attention of others. Everyone took out their calculators one after another and started to calculate. For a moment, the atmosphere in the group became slightly awkward. At this time, Han Zhang sent a profusely sweating emoji. Oh my, I'm really sorry. I'm bad at math. I calculated wrong. I will immediately refund the overcharged money to everyone. His attitude in apologizing was extremely sincere. Immediately following that, he took the extra money collected and refunded it one by one to everyone in the form of red envelopes. Sigh. Xiao Han meant well. He was probably just dizzy from being so busy. Yeah, he's young, right? Who doesn't make a little mistake? Someone in the group started to smooth things over for him. What should have been an incident of an integrity crisis was lightly brushed over by his excuse of I'm bad at math. Everyone seemed to default to the idea that he was just a careless good kid. The days continued in a bizarre calm. In the blink of an eye, it was the end of the month. Colleague Guoshuan was celebrating her birthday. According to the department's tradition, everyone would pitch in to buy a cake. Han Zhang actively stepped forward once again. For Sister Shuang's birthday, leave the cake to me. He patted his chest and guaranteed, I know the boss of a cake shop. I can get an internal discount price. I guarantee it will be high quality and inexpensive. Hearing this, everyone transferred money to him one after another. Xiao Han is so warm-hearted. Then we'll just wait to eat the cake. Seeing the harmony in the group chat, an ominous premonition arose in my heart. On the afternoon of the birthday, Han Zhang sure enough returned to the company carrying a huge cake box. The cake looked very ornate. 3 tiers piled high with fruit and cream. Everyone gathered around to sing the birthday song, blow out the candles, and share the cake. The atmosphere seemed peaceful and harmonious. However, after Guo Shuang took a bite of the cake, the expression on her face was a bit subtle. The cream on this cake seems a bit cloying. Another colleague chimed in. The fruit isn't very fresh either. It's a bit sour. Seeing this, I also tasted a small piece. The taste of that cream was full of a cheap, artificial flavor. The fruit also looked like it had been sitting around for a long time, completely lacking in moisture. At this time, Xian used going to the restroom as an excuse to secretly search the official website of this cake shop on his phone. The result greatly surprised him. After coming back, he quietly leaned into my ear. His voice kept extremely low. I checked. For the exact same cake, the official website price is 200 yuan cheaper than the money we pooled. Hearing this, I sneered in my heart. Sure enough, not only did he not get the supposed discount, he even pocketed the price difference in the middle. He didn't just earn a profit. He also earned himself a good reputation for being warm-hearted. He really played a good hand. Although everyone felt the cake tasted off, out of consideration for his feelings, no one said anything. Han Zhang, however, began his performance. He sat in his chair with an exhausted face, wiping non-existent sweat from his forehead. In order to buy this cake, I ran a really long way. That shop is in the west of the city. I took the subway for over an hour to get there. To save money for everyone, I even haggled with the boss for a long time. In the end, I even chipped in a bit of my own money. As soon as he finished speaking, a guilty expression immediately appeared on Guo Shuang's face. She took out her phone on the spot and sent Han Zhang a red envelope. Xiao Han, thank you so much. You must accept this little token of appreciation. Han Zhang declined for a long time. Finally, he reluctantly accepted it. Thank you, Sister Shuang. You are so nice. I coldly watched from the sidelines at this comical farce. Cian was trembling all over with anger. He wanted to rush up and expose him several times, but I held him back. Are we just going to let him stay smug like this? Cian was unwilling to let it go. I looked at Han Zhang's triumphant face, my voice calm. People like this are insatiably greedy. Sooner or later, due to his own greed, he will take a huge fall. We just need to wait and see. Saying that, I told him to quietly send me the link to the cake shop's official website and a screenshot of the price. These pieces of evidence would soon come in handy. Manager Zhao's face, at a visible speed, turned livid. What's going on? The file is corrupted. Manager Zhao's voice suddenly rose like a sudden clap of thunder. When you left early this morning, wasn't it perfectly fine? For such an important file, didn't you have a backup? Everyone's eyes focused on me. There was shock. There was bewilderment. But mostly blame. If this project was delayed, the company would face massive penalty fees for breach of contract. No one could bear that responsibility. And I, as the final person in charge of the file, was undoubtedly the primary person responsible. Just at this moment, Han Zhang stepped forward. He walked up to me, his face full of anxiety and concern. Brother Yi Chen, don't panic. How could this happen? I saw it was perfectly fine when you left yesterday. As he said this, he helpfully operated my computer, futilely attempting to repair the file. It's okay, Brother Yi Chen. At worst, we can pull an all-nighter at the office today. I'll keep you company. We can definitely finish revising it. I would probably have been moved by him. In the conference room, Manager Zhao's fury had reached its peak. He slapped the table, pointing at me, and roared. Yi Chen. How do you explain this? The entire conference room was dead silent. I became the target of public criticism. Enduring the pressure from everyone, I slowly stood up. There was no panic on my face. In fact, it could be said to be unusually calm, meaning Manager Zhao's gaze that was almost spitting fire. I calmly spoke. Manager. Before I explain, I would like to ask everyone to first watch a backup of a surveillance. My words were like a depth charge, exploding violently in the dead silent conference room. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Manager Zhao's anger was interrupted by the sudden turn of he looked at me unconsciously. What surveillance? I didn't answer him. I calmly reached into my bag and took out that compact portable hard drive. I connected it to the computer and then opened a video file. On the projector screen, a screen recording of my computer desktop appeared. The video started with a static computer desktop. About half a minute later, a hand entered the frame. It grabbed the mouse and skillfully opened my computer. At this moment, everyone held their breath. In the video, that hand quickly moved the mouse, clicked open the project folder, found the final version of the report file, deleted it, then used a file shredding tool to completely erase any trace of the operation. The entire process was smooth and flowing, taking only a short 2 or 3 minutes. After doing all this, that hand operated the computer to shut down and then disappeared from the screen. In the conference room, dead silence. Everyone had seen clearly the watch worn on that hand. Everyone's gaze, unanimously, turned to Han Zhang, who was standing beside me. On his wrist, he wore the exact same digital watch as the one in the video. Han Zhang's face instantly turned deathly pale, drained of all color. The muscles on his face twitched uncontrollably. His eyes were filled with terror and disbelief. No. It wasn't me. This isn't me. I just wanted to help Brother Yi Chen check the file. I was afraid he was too tired and would make a mistake. But this defense seemed so pale and powerless at this moment. Manager Zhao stared fixedly at Han Zhang. In his eyes was towering rage and the disappointment of being deceived. I ignored the Han Zhang who was already on the verge of collapse. I immediately went to the portable hard drive, pulled up that perfectly intact, true final version file backup, and displayed it on the projector. Manager. The file is here, perfectly intact. The project can be submitted on time. My voice remained calm. Then I turned my head, looked at Han Zhang, whose face was the color of dead ashes, and said word by word, Han Zhang, your actions are not just workplace competition, they are malicious corporate sabotage. If I hadn't kept a backup today, your so-called little mistake could have cost the company millions in orders and reputation. This responsibility, can you, a mere intern, bear it? My words were like the final judgment, completely destroying all his psychological defense. His legs went soft, and he slumped onto the floor. That persona of an honest person he had painstakingly cultivated for months, in front of ironclad evidence, was torn to shreds. The project was ultimately submitted on time without any mishaps. Manager Zhao called Han Zhang into his office alone. That heavy door blocked out the sound, but I could imagine what kind of storm was happening inside. In the conference room, the remaining colleagues looked at me with complex expressions. Those people who previously said I was harsh and unfeeling now all had their heads down, not daring to look me in the eyes. The handover work went very smoothly. The client was extremely satisfied with our proposal. When I returned to the office with the good news, Han Zhang was already gone. The matter reaching this point seemed like it could come to a close, but CN felt it couldn't just end like this. That Han Zhang is simply rotten to the core. Framing colleagues. This is a huge taboo in any company, he said indignantly. And his sick mother. I strongly suspect that was also fake. Si Yan's words awakened me. Yes, a person who could lie and frame a colleague without changing his expression. What other lies couldn't he make up? We decided to investigate thoroughly, and this investigation indeed uncovered something major. Si Yan's younger female cousin and Han Zhang were in the same university club. Through inquiring, we discovered something major. Han Zhang? Yeah, he's in our club. His family's situation is indeed quite average. Both his parents are ordinary workers. The voice message from the junior schoolmate carried a tone of confusion, but he has always spent money very lavishly. He changes to the newest phones and wears designer shoes. A while ago he even said he was saving up to change his computer. As for his mom being sick, I've never heard of that. Just last month, he even posted photos on his moments of his parents going on a trip. Moments. My heart skipped a beat, and I immediately said to CN, ask your cousin to send over a screenshot of Han Zhang's moments. The junior schoolmate quickly sent over a screenshot. It seems he has sorted his moments into groups. What I can see is all just eating, drinking, and having fun. I clicked open the screenshot, zoomed in. It was just sharing an ordinary university life. I didn't give up. Han Zhang's painstakingly maintained persona definitely had blind spots he couldn't cover. Ask her if she can find someone who was closer to Han Zhang, someone in another visibility group. Sure enough, half an hour later, the junior schoolmate sent over a few more screenshots. This time, it was a completely different Han Zhang in a group that none of us colleagues could see. He unscrupulously showed off his spoils. One of the posts, the time it was published, was exactly the night he and I confronted each other over the hairy crab. The accompanying picture was exactly that packed food box containing the 6 hairy crabs. Got my hands on 6 hairy crabs. Resold them to make a quick buck. Sweet. Idiots at the company. Stupid people with too much money. Seeing this, my blood instantly rushed to my head. He didn't have a sick mother at all. Those 6 crabs, which embodied the goodwill of everyone in our department, were resold by him at a high price that very night, and became capital for him to show off. I didn't immediately make these screenshots public. What I wanted wasn't a noisy farce, but a just, thorough reckoning. I spent an entire night organizing all the evidence into a clear, complete document. The first part was about the hairy crab incident. I attached the screenshot of Han Zhang's WeChat moments, along with a screenshot of his message in the department group chat that night saying, "I'm sorry. I caused trouble for everyone." The contrast between the two was extremely ironic. The second part was the evidence of him miscalculating the afternoon tea bill. I put in the screenshot of the calculation process I privately sent him at the clearly proving that it wasn't that he was bad at math, but that he had deliberately plotted it. The third part was the price difference issue with the birthday cake. I attached the screenshot of the official website price that CN had looked up at the time, and the record of the total amount pooled by the department. That glaring price difference was ironclad proof of his greed. The final part, and also the most fatal, was the screen recording video of him maliciously destroying the project file. For every piece of evidence, I annotated a clear timeline and statement of facts. The chain of logic was complete, irrefutable. After organizing all this, I wrote an email. The recipient was Manager Zhao, CC2, the director of the company's HR department. Manager Zhao, regarding a series of behaviors by the intern Han Zhang during his employment. I believe it is necessary to provide formal feedback to you in the Please see the attachment for details. I personally believe that there are serious issues with this employee's character and professional ethics. He is no longer suitable to remain on our team. The moment I clicked send, I felt an unprecedented sense of peace. I could imagine, when he was on the other side of the screen, seeing that document, how ugly his face must have been. For the whole morning, Manager Zhao didn't appear in the office. At noon, I saw the HR assistant walk over to Han Zhang's cubicle, whispering something to him. Then Han Zhang carried that small cardboard box of his and walked out dejectedly. When he passed by my cubicle, his footsteps paused for a moment. I could even feel it cast upon me, that resentful and unwilling gaze. The dust settling on the Han Zhang incident brought a not insignificant shock to the whole department. But for me, life seemed to have returned to its usual tranquility. Regarding the aftermath of Han Zhang, I heard it from CN. Because he was officially issued a notice of dismissal by a large company like ours, it left a very disgraceful mark on his resume. He tried to interview at several other companies in the same industry, but without exception, he was weeded out during the background check phase. The incident of him maliciously destroying project files and embezzling public funds had more or less spread within the industry circles. No company dared to employ someone with such a severe stain on their professional ethics. I heard that later he could only go do odd jobs at a very small company. The salary and benefits were far worse than his internship period with us back then. One late night, I received a long text message from Han Zhang. In the text message, his wording was earnest, filled with remorse. Brother Yi Chen, I apologize to you for my previous actions. I was young and momentarily confused, blinded by greed. I hope you can forgive me. I'm having a really hard time now, hitting walls everywhere I look for a job, suffering all kinds of cold stares. Could you please, for the sake of us once being colleagues, help put in a good word for me with Manager Zhao and have that dismissal penalty removed from my file? I quietly finished reading the whole message. Between those lines, what I saw was not genuine repentance, but begging for pity after being driven into a corner. I didn't reply with a single word. I directly chose to delete it, and then added his number to the blacklist. Some people, from the moment they choose to walk down that path, are destined to no longer be people in the same world as us. Forgiving him is God's business. My job is to let him stay with God, so he won't plague the human world anymore.